In the Bros We Trust.
In the Bros We Trust, Elite Brothers Group. First, we just want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Hooters. Thank you for sponsoring our episode.
They are not our
Sponsored
sponsor.
everybody.
Yes.
That would be a nice sponsor, though.
Yes, we'll take. Give me the chicken
They
breast.
got good
Hold the chicken.
Chicken wings.
Why do you got to start it like this every time?
Every time, man.
We had
Make
an
it
old
weird.
podcast. He did the exact same thing literally every single episode.
I'm telling you, one
Thankfully,
day,
my wife was the only listener. She thought it was kind of fun.
she's probably going to be the only listener again.
It's okay. She can hear about some real estate and some
All right.
life.
So this is episode 2.
Episode 2?
Brothers Group. Episode 2.
Didn't we do an episode 1?
Yeah,
Like,
you know how many people listen to it?
No,
so far?
but didn't we do like 2 episode 1s? Wasn't there a first
Oh,
episode?
yeah,
one?
it was a
Oh
trial
yeah, that we
one.
What happened
deleted.
to that one?
It was
Got deleted.
janky.
Footage is somewhere. It's just, I don't know.
No, that's good. Good thing we deleted that. So we have the 4 of us, and then we have Michael, Jared, and Alex. There's
Yeah.
7, a team of 7, and just like that,
Oh.
and just like that, we're a team of 7.
Right. I need an actual horn or like a button that does that.
We gotta get. That's our next investment, right?
Or like a.
We're gonna say-
Oh,
I'm
like
calling it. We're gonna say that same thing over the next at least 8 episodes before we actually have a button to push.
no, get it on
100%.
Amazon right now.
Who wants to be our button pusher? Jared, Mike.
I'll get on
Jared,
Amazon.
Jared's really wants to be the button pusher.
Nico's really good at pushing people's buttons.
Yeah,
That's true.
Seriously,
very true.
That's
I think
true.
He lives
Right now.
for it.
Don't delete it.
Did you just
Ignore
hang
it.
up? I said it was Hague Partners calling you. That's got to be important.
Oh
Man,
no.
corporate's calling us. What did you do, Kyle?
He
They went,
just-
oh,
he just
shoot,
hung
I
up
went
on
live.
him,
Oh,
too.
they saw her live.
Is everyone's
Saw
mic
the
on?
live.
Did we even check?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mike,
yeah.
Mike checked on the audio.
Great.
Hey, so what's happened this week? What's going on?
So you want to take this one away?
Go ahead.
So far, we got our leads turned on. So we
Yep.
all have leads, and most of us have been on an appointment. Have we all been on an appointment? You get your first one today, right?
I'm going on my personal first one today. I went on one with Jared yesterday. Went
Cool.
well. We
Kyle
didn't,
and I-
we didn't quite get it yet, but
It's a follow-up.
It's a follow-up.
Yep. I got to call the follow-up that we had the other day. But me, Kyle and I had one on, what was it, Tuesday?
Yep.
He's our new client.
Are
And
we
he
supposed to
is,
say their name?
I don't know.
Freaking-
Yeah, I
he's
don't know
freaking
their
awesome.
names. Their name.
we're not supposed to say their name.
We'll cut that out.
Don't
His
say his
address.
name.
That part out.
Oh yeah, okay.
Anyways, he's pretty awesome. He's a really nice guy.
He was super cool. So this dude bought his house out. Where
Yeah.
was that at? Was that in Phoenix?
I don't even know. Lynchfield.
Oh, it was
Oh,
in
Litchfield.
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 So
Lish.
Not
The difference,
Lynch.
guys.
Oh, fuck.
Come on, man.
Sorry.
so,
I've never been there before.
Oh.
I've never been there before.
but we had this appointment out in Litchfield, and this guy bought his property in the '90s. He bought it for $40,000.
Yep, 40
which
grand.
is wild. And at the time, this was out in Litchfield, like kind of in the middle.
Nobody
of nowhere.
was around him.
He specifically was actually working out here in Mesa, where we're currently recording this. He was a contractor working out here, and he decided, if I'm going to buy a property, I want to buy somewhere that I want to be on the weekends. And he's like, and on the weekends, I don't want to be near anybody. So he moved way out to Litchfield. There's no one else around him. And there's this tiny little 2-bedroom, 2-bath house out there. And he bought it for $40,000. And we're about to list it for what?
Alex, what are we listening at?
400
425?
425 or something like that.
425.
Which
He's
is
going
crazy.
to be the
Big come up.
his house is actually really nice.
Super nice. He's got
He
all
did a
cement
really
floors.
good job.
Yeah.
The backyard looks beautiful. Like it is a smaller home, but
Huge
man,
lot, acre lot.
He killed it.
Our
Yeah.
prices out there a little bit lower.
Higher.
Higher.
500s to
Oh, you mean
What, like
the
his
an
neighborhood.
average?
acquisition?
His
Yeah.
neighborhood, yeah.
Well, what's like the average price out there? Do you
So
guys know?
his neighborhood's really weird specifically because they're all custom built homes, like
Mhm.
everything. So he's got a neighbor literally right behind him that's like a $1.5 million house.
Yeah.
'Cause
And it
it's-
looked like it.
And it was like a 4,500 square foot house, massive, like pretty much
It would
brand
be like
new.
a 2 to 3 million in Scottsdale.
Yeah, super, super nice house right behind him. And then his is just like this tiny little house that was built in the 80s, I think, or early 90s.
Yeah,
Right.
probably before, yeah.
But it's super cool and really well kept. But yeah, we got a listing this week, which is dope.
Awesome.
Yep.
In other words, we also got a new listing, right?
Yep.
Just went active
Got
today.
2 listings this week.
Hey, for one of our friends, listed
yeah.
at 674 in
Family
Gilbert.
friend.
Gilbert, yep. She's been listed for a little bit, so it's going to be kind of a challenge. But we like a good challenge.
It expired?
It expired.
Yeah.
Yeah, twice I think. Yeah, but it's
Delicious
nice.
luck.
It's a really nice house in Gilbert, mid 6s, 674. We're starting at.
That's
She
dope.
started at I think 724 or something like that.
What's the worst conversation you had with one of your clients this
Ooh.
week?
Oh,
Who's got
This
Week?
week?
this week?
No, I don't have. I haven't. Not
had
really.
that
This
one. Not
week.
this week.
Tough conversations with clients. Anybody?
Conversation with clients. Oh man.
I made the mistake one time of having a through
A
phone
what?
call.
A what?
No. Whoa.
His wife is.
I'll never
whoa,
do
whoa,
that
whoa.
again. No, they wanted me to like phone in my clients. The buyers did.
Oh yeah, I know.
Rookie mistake. I'll never
Yeah.
do.
Wait, time out. The buyers wanted you to phone in your clients,
Yeah.
and you phoned them in.
Yeah. I was like,
You let your clients talk to the buyers?
yeah. Well, they were like,
Buyer's agent or the
Wait,
buyers?
with you on the phone?
yeah, with me on the phone.
Okay, let's let him tell the story. I have so many questions.
Yeah.
What happened?
No, there were just some problems with like closing, and they called me and they're like, look, we got to get this closed, or because of X, Y, and Z is happening, and our lender's not going to give us the money if whatever is not going through. So they ended up they were like, let's just and he was like, I could tell he was like a driver. He's like a military guy, you know what I mean? His wife was the buyer's agent, but they're buying for themselves, you know what I mean? And so they're like, we need to get this done tonight. It's like 8:00 at night. I'm like, bruh, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, I don't think that's a good idea, but he was really pushy. So I did it thinking hopefully this would help. Did not one bit. So yeah, I'll never do that again. Cause then after the conversation, right, he kind of like belittled the clients, I think, a little bit. And was just like, yeah, cause he was just such a driver, you know what I mean? And was making it like it was the client's fault for whatever was happening that wasn't closing, which it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
It was his lender wouldn't give him money if certain things didn't happen. So it had nothing to do with my clients. It had everything to do with his lender, especially because some specific lenders, they have different requirements. Like his was a VA loan, and so they have different requirements, right? And so eventually we just we couldn't like kind of figure it out that night, but I ended up after the conversation calling my clients and like trying to check up on them and like see if they're okay, and they're mad. I got cussed out pretty good.
Oh.
Yeah, I was cussed out pretty good.
Anyone else been cussed out by a client before?
Yep. Yes, yesterday. So I was calling to present a Binzer, right? An inspection report came back. It didn't come back so nice. It didn't come back how the buyer would like it to come back.
The seller?
So the seller,
Your
sorry.
client, yeah.
So my client. Yeah.
You're
So
representing the seller.
I'm representing the seller. Inspection report comes back. There's a leak in his roof in his master bathroom.
It's a fixer-upper.
Well, it's a nice house. It's huge, but it's old. It has problems.
It's not always about the size, man.
Or the
big.
age? Is that what you mean?
So
There's a hole somewhere.
There's a hole.
We haven't figured it out yet. Where's the hole again?
in the
leaking.
primary. It's leaking. It's not a hole, but it's leaking. We don't like
We're talking
leakage.
about, we don't like leaky holes around here. It's turned
How's
quick.
anyone gonna ever take us seriously?
All right, so I'm on the phone with him, right? I'm trying to tell him that
You have leaky holes.
Yeah, leaky
the
hole.
buyer is asking for $5,000 in credit, which I think is pretty fair because he has a leak in his primary bathroom. His patio roof is compromised. It's destroyed. He needs to basically repair the whole thing. His AC units, 3 out of the 4 are 20 years old. He
Oh my
has
gosh.
problems in his pool. His waterfall's not working. His fireplaces aren't working, right? Just a lot of stuff.
Let it go.
And the buyer's like, I feel like, if I'm not going to ask for much, I'm going to have to replace those AC units pretty soon.
Yeah.
5,000 seems fair. And I totally agreed. So I get on the phone and I present it to my seller.
They've already come in way below asking, right?
Oh yeah. So backstory, we listed originally at $980, and
Which was
which was
overpriced.
a mistake.
Yeah.
I wanted him at $899. The
Dang.
dude,
Good lord.
my seller was
It's
like,
a big gap.
yeah.
"This is what we're gonna do, Sal.
Oh, no.
This is what we're gonna do."
Those drivers.
He's like,
man.
"Okay, $8.99. That's good, but this is what we're gonna do." And I was like, "All right, whatever." And this is how our whole relationship's been going. This is this is what we're gonna do kind of guy, Sal. So, whatever. You could do it your way. He's been basically trying to sell the house himself and just has me. I don't know why he's using me. Whatever, he could pay me, but I've been trying to.
Right.
I've been trying to get this listing for a year now. He talked me down in my commission. He's just been
So
hard.
it's been a learning lesson.
It's been hard this entire time. So I'm presenting this Benzer to him, and he's like the inspector's a liar. He's full of shit. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I was like, well, this is what he does for a living. He has no reason to lie to you. It's what he does every day. And he's like, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna figure out and find out what my closing costs are. And I was like, I'm not gonna give you exact numbers. I can tell you it's about 1% of
Has
the
he ever
purchase
even
price.
sold homes before, like in the past?
I'm sure he has money. I mean, so we were listed at 980. We are now down. We dropped this price to 850, which I told him to do a long time ago.
Yeah.
He just did it, so he lost a lot of money. The offer came in. The only offer we got at $800K. I talked him up. We got him to go up to 810. So we're at 810. He's already not happy about that.
Yeah.
But it's the only thing he has, so we took it. And then the $5,000 concession credit comes back in lieu of repairs, and he's just telling me that I need to find out what his closing costs are. And I said, that's a question for title. We can figure that. But he's basically he's just like, Sal, did you get some sleep? Why are you being so rude to me? Get the fuck off the phone. Like, get like.
He
stop
said
talking
that to you?
me. Yeah, he's cussing me out.
Put him
And I
on
was
my
like-
put him
When
on.
was this?
How old is he?
This is yesterday.
Still fresh. Just keep that in
Dude,
mind as
I
he's
was
telling the
I
story.
was so angry. But I was
You
keeping
were
my
shaking, though,
I was shaking a little
after.
bit, but I kept my cool. Right, Kyle was here. What did it sound like from your perspective? Like
Sound like you were
here.
getting beat up.
Oh,
I was
Punching
a bad
bag.
friend. I stayed in the other room. I was editing a video.
just giggling over there.
Damn.
Can hear him giggling in the
Yeah,
background.
been there.
Oh man, it was tough. But he's like, so he hung up on me, right? He said, "Call me back after you had your coffee or get some sleep." And I was like, "All right."
So he's 100% going to lose money on this deal. How much is he?
He's down like 140,000, like, because he didn't listen to me.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was gonna say. I think it's so important, like, to listen to your agents. Like, we get weekly updates on what the market is doing.
Yeah.
And it's
We keep up with it
We keep
every
up
day.
with
We
the
do our
trend.
research so we can help our clients. You know what I mean? And they just don't believe us or they don't trust us.
Right.
He calls me back an hour later and says, "Are you good, Sal? Did you have your coffee?" Bro, I was.
Dang, so this
I
is in the
was-
morning then.
This
No,
no,
this is in the
this is
afternoon. He was just recommending coffee.
He just
big
says you need
believer in
coffee.
caffeine.
It's like, bro, I don't even drink coffee.
All right, bruh. Well,
Ooh,
yeah. Well,
yeah,
that sucks. Yeah, because I mean, yeah, he's gonna lose out on a ton of money now, and just simply by not listening. And I think a lot of times too, what happens is sellers get emotionally invested in their own property, and and I learned this from you when you were training me. Is like we go in and we tell them, hey, I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to tell you what you need to hear.
Yep.
So that you sell and that you actually have a good experience selling. But part of it is also letting go of your pride and letting go of what you think your house is worth, because it might not be that much.
Realtors I feel like realtors have to be like doctors, right? Like,
Good bedside
hey,
manner.
I could tell you that you're not sick, but
Yeah.
you're sick. You
Right.
need help. You need to get medicine. You need to
Right.
do this. It's not the best news, but you have to get the news from somewhere, and that's what the hardest part of being a realtor for me. At first, I had a hard time telling my clients bad news. Like, I gotta call them and be like, hey, so this Benzer came back and we're gonna have to do this. But now now it's much easier for me to be like, hey, did you see a bug just fly?
Yeah.
In your nose.
Just really wanted to be a part of the podcast.
Jeez, I think it's still in my nostril. Damn.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now it's much. Whoa.
Oh no!
I
Don't
was
worry,
like,
I got it. I got it.
that one.
Oh, weird.
Should we pause it?
No, just,
Nah, keep talking.
so keep going. Yeah.
But yeah, it's not that it's not like easier to give them bad news, but
Yeah.
coming from that perspective, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, this is, and also you're the freaking You're the
expert. Yeah.
right? And you
Yeah.
you know what you're talking about.
Well,
At
and
least I
honestly,
think.
so right after that hard conversation that Sal had
I was just
yesterday,
about to say.
the first thing I said was, "This is why we get paid."
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, we get paid because we have to have the hard conversations. We have to know the hard things. We have to advise people. And the fact that people get emotional in this process should be zero shock. This is the biggest financial transaction they'll probably ever make in their entire life, or one of.
Exactly.
And like, that's our job, is to walk them through it and guide them through it and help them through it. And you know what I mean? Like, I think you said something, Sal, that like just popped out to me right now, is we have to get them to trust us.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't trust us, that's not on them, that's on us.
Yeah.
If we're not building trust, if we're not saying the right things, if we're not presenting ourselves in the right way, and that comes from the very first time you meet a client too. Very first time you meet a client, they're reading you, they're listening to you or not listening to you. They like have faith in certain things you're saying or not, based on like everything that you bring to the table.
Yeah.
So it's huge.
And the best way to gain their trust is to be honest and real and just be yourself. I mean,
Truthful.
I mean,
And
like,
even if the
truthful.
truth hurts, you have to tell them, because I feel like if you do tell them, give them the honest truth, and even if it hurts, they kind of, in my experience, they kind of respect you a little bit more for it. Like, hey, this is what we got to do. This is what's going to happen. I know this sucks, but this is what we need to do. Blah blah blah. I had a client the other day who's like, "Oh my gosh, all right, well, what do you think I should do?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, I did my job." And he's relying on me, and this guy is very successful, has multiple properties. And I told him what we needed to do, and he went with it. And we're closing a couple of days, but so that's pretty cool.
I guess that's one of the best feelings, is when they actually trust you and they're actually asking you for advice, and they believe in what believe you and believe in what your knowledge and what you know and what you're telling them. I mean, that's like, that you did your job.
I think it's also, again, it's proving to them that you know what you're talking about as well. Like, Alex and I have a client that was pretty difficult. We got him an offer pretty early, and it was a little bit under where he wanted to be, but above where the market was. Like, we literally got him an offer better than where the market was, and he denied it, turned it down. And I told him exactly what was going to happen from this point
Did you tell him greedy hogs get slaughtered?
No, I have not used that line, but I did tell him.
I had a buyer's agent tell me that. Sorry, because he was like, my clients wouldn't take the offer, and it was like $50,000 above asking price last year.
Damn.
And it's like, sorry, they're looking for a little bit more. They're getting another offer, and he's like, tell your clients that greedy hogs get slaughtered. And I never forgot it.
That's so funny. But no, but I told him after he denied that offer, I told him exactly what was going to happen from this point forward. I said, hey, like, you're going to sit on the market, likely not going to be able to bring you anything better than this. And we didn't. He yelled at me. Oh yeah, he was so mad at me. Yelled at me, told me I wasn't doing my job, yada yada. Then he called Alex and apologized to me through Alex. He wouldn't talk to me anymore. But then he expired off the market. Couldn't sell his home. And then, like a couple days after he expired, I got one of the buyers that we had through the house contact me, got him another offer, and it was lower than the first offer, which I told him. But since I think everything played out exactly like I told him it was going to play out, he came to me the day that we were supposed to accept the offer, and he said, hey, like, what should I do? And I said, this is what you need to do. He listened to me. We're under contract.
Nice.
Dope.
What's that conversation look like when you're trying to? Well, I mean, like, from your perspective, from like your experiences, where like you're trying to convey to your client that it's not you, it's the market. How do you show? Because obviously you're representing, what you're representing them. They're going to pin everything as if it's your fault.
Yeah.
So how do you guys show, hey, it's the market?
Well, I think you throughout the
Yeah.
process while you're listed,
Yeah.
while you're listed with your client, is you have to stay frequently updating them. Just say, hey, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Sent out the letters.
Customer
sent out the email
service.
blast. Hey, so for today we're going active. Hey, tomorrow or the next day, we're we got no requests.
Yeah.
Hey, Tuesday, hey, we got some, you have to constantly be like, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. At least this is my opinion.
Yeah.
This is what I'm doing. What I'm doing. They see that you're doing a lot of stuff, and you're still
That you're
getting no
working.
offers, and you're still getting, hey, it's probably our price. It's
Right.
the market. This is the feedback I've been getting of why we're not getting, if someone requested a showing and they don't put an offer. So I think you just always constantly being in front of them.
Yeah.
Then they'll be like, oh, okay, yeah. They'll be more open to a price drop, or open to realizing that it's not my realtor, it's not my agent, because he has been doing a good job.
Right.
So
I've been
think
sending
that's
I like the MLS feature where you can send the listing activity. I did that
Yeah.
for a client
Mhm.
yesterday.
Listing activity, put them on searches, I
Yeah.
send them everything. You know what I mean? Keep
But-
them updated.
As much as possible, I want to like push it towards like the market. And if they see hard data, you know what I mean? I'm more likely to still keep their trust and also help them make the best decision. Do you know what I mean? Without me like putting my influence on them to, because I don't like making anybody do anything. Do you know what I'm saying? That's not what I'm here for. I'm not trying to like, because it also makes me feel sleazy. Like, because you know, the more they drop the price, the more it's attractive, the more it's a quicker sell, the more, you know, the sooner I get paid. I'm not trying to do that, but at the same time, I also don't want them to lose out on more money when I could have given them data showing that, hey, where we're priced at isn't attractive. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think what you guys have said so far, when you have the client already, I think that helps with those conversations when you're putting those checkpoints, when you're giving them all the updates. But I think when you're trying to get a client and you're trying to show them where the market's at, I think you need to, first lane you need to figure out is, are these guys more analytical or more emotional? Like, is the person I'm talking to analytical or emotional? If they're going to make their decision based off analytics, like if they're an engineer or a doctor or something like that, then you literally just lay out the stats over the last year because they explain themselves. But if they're more emotional, then you need to tell them a story. Like if they're emotional, you tell them a story, and even if it's something you make up, but tell them a story about how someone that was listed back here got this, but their neighbor listed here last month, and this is where they're at now. And like really paint a picture for them, because that's going to help like the more emotional, you know what I mean, person make that decision.
And sometimes it's not always, it's not even you, or what I'm trying to say, maybe you just don't click with your client as well as as well as Sal here or Kyle would. Maybe have one of us talk to the client, because sometimes they just don't like you. Like sometimes after 2 or 3 days or 4 days within the agreement, they realize I don't like this guy, and it's like you're like, what the heck? What did I do? Like you did everything right, or we did everything right, and sometimes they just don't like you, and that's totally fine. You know, you hand it to a partner and you work on it. Have that partner be the contact, right? Because that happens a lot too.
Kyle's like the nicest guy and probably like super smart, really good at his job. But for some reason, like a couple times, he's had a couple guys just for no reason just not like him. And
Honesty pisses people off too. That's the problem.
when sellers' houses are not selling because the market's bad or their price too high, they blame us, right?
I had
so
a
they
client.
like to blame the person who's helping.
I had a client. I drove out an hour to see this guy. He had 2 apartments in the same complex. I signed both of them. I got 2 of them in 1 hour. So I got 2 listings in 1 hour. And he's telling me how excited he is, how much he likes me. Nico, you're a great guy. Oh, I'm so excited for you. Like, we're going to get this thing done, blah, blah, blah. And he's like patting me on the back. I've never had a client walk me to my car. He walks me to you have a great one. Drive safe. I know it's a long one, blah, blah, blah. That was probably like at 4 p.m. By 7 p.m., he fired me. No joke. I'm not even kidding. He calls the brokerage and said, I don't want to work with Nico. I don't like him. I was like, did this guy go to a bar in between times, get drunk, and just fire me? But, you know, like, I was like, what the heck? That one, like, I was just, like, freaking mind blown. Because he patted me on the back, dude. Like, he, like walked me to my car.
I had to do something, man.
Dude, I thought we had a connection. And I was like, oh, I'm so excited. I went home and told my wife, like, oh, I'm so excited. I want to get this thing done for him. And no, like, he fired me. By the time, like, I was going to bed, I got a call, and he was like, hey, they want to work with someone else. I was like, what the hell? And I realized that I was his, like, 4th, and that house is still listed. He's on his 5th realtor right now.
Jeez, wow. Maybe he was just being overly nice to you. Like, you know when your dog's really sick, and it's, like, you know, that time, and so you give them their favorite meal.
Oh, no.
You, like, you know, walk them to their favorite spot in the yard.
Yeah.
Maybe it was that. Maybe he was just, like, he just knew the bullet was in the back of your head as soon as you closed the door.
No. I dodged the bullet.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I think he, like, I don't know. Maybe.
Is this the guy that met you inside the office?
Yeah, I met him in the office, and then I drove to his house in Peoria, so it took me like an hour to get there in traffic. And then I get home, I'm having dinner, I'm like, you know, you feel good after.
Today,
2 listings, baby, one SOI. I was like, woo, feeling hot. I was like, baby, buy those curtains you wanted. Buy those new drapes.
You know those drapes you wouldn't want?
You know,
I got kids order them. I got new bikes.
So I was counting the commission before I even.
What was the price points of the house?
Like it was small, like $299 condo, $350 condo. But
Okay.
one of them was a SOI, so it was like. Yeah, it's the
SOI
shortest
is
listing in
sphere of, our own
agreement.
sphere of influence.
Sphere of influence. So the
The
splits
bigger
are a little
cuts.
better.
Yeah.
So I know that we started our own team, Elite Brothers Group. Where there's 7 of us. Well, we decided we didn't know if we wanted to stay with. We were with Hague Partners, which is great, and they're affiliated with 72 Sold. It's like their marketing program. Do you want to tell them why we decided to stay with 72 Sold, or?
Because it's dope.
Yeah.
Because it's awesome. I mean, honestly, I truly 100% genuinely believe like their program and the strategy that we get at 72 Sold is the best way to sell a house, like especially in this industry. And for me personally, just the training we get at the company. I know a lot of other companies do trainings and things like that, but we have hour-long meetings 4 times a week with like really great applicable training of how to like do our jobs well in this market.
Honestly,
so just makes sense.
And Greg he's a genius.
Yeah.
Guy
He's
is
super
smart,
smart.
and he's always staying on top of it. You know what I mean? Like people talk, a lot of people talk bad about 72 Sold, but why? Just because we're different, we're new, or we're doing things different than everybody else.
Yeah.
72 Sold, they're great for people who are coming into the industry. They they provide great training. They provide
I think
leads.
if you're a new agent, I
Yeah.
think 72 Sold's a great way because you get business right away.
Mhm.
You get appointments right away, and you can find there's a lot of teams on 72 Sold. I'm sure you could find someone that you could click with and learn from. But I think most realtors who've been realtors for a long time come to 72 Sold. They come because they get business pretty quick.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the average? How long does it take a realtor to get business when they first start?
I know
Ask Alex.
For me, it took about like less than a month, maybe.
Well, I'm
Well, but
talking.
for
That's
average
we're not
realtor.
average. 72 Sold's
I see,
different.
I see what you're saying.
How
Yes.
long did it take you? How many closings did you have your first year of real estate?
8.
8? That's
8
good.
total.
I actually did okay.
That is really
That
good.
is really good.
How long
the
did-
average is 4.
I think normal's
How long did
4,
it take
2
you to
to
get
4.
your first listing?
6 months.
6
6 months to
Yeah.
get your first.
And
listing.
how
And
long?
that's what I meant. It only took me, I think, a month.
A month.
Yeah.
Yes, there's splits that
Yeah.
are, you know what I mean, but I mean, you're getting,
You're getting in the
5
contracts. You're getting in the. You're learning
3 to
so much
5
faster.
listings in a month. Your
Yeah.
first month.
Right.
So, and it's a great way to grow and learn really fast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure. I mean, I think it's the amount of transactions you get to go through and how quickly you learn. You know what I mean? I've been in real estate for less than a year.
They're dead. Sorry.
Are they really dead?
Yeah.
They just keep dying. I've been in real estate for less than a year, and like I've gone through so many transactions. Like
Yeah.
I really understand the flow. I know how everything works.
What's your count right now?
What?
What are you up to?
My count? I've closed 40
Yeah.
in my first like
Dude,
6
I'm-
months, 7 months.
I'm a little,
Like-
what I'm like at 48, 40,
Yeah.
we're like 47, 48 each.
Yeah.
You're like, you've
Yeah,
caught
I-
up to us in 6 months. We've been doing this for a year and a half. So
I-
you did it even faster than
I have
us.
not slept. I didn't sleep for the first few
But
months.
also, we started in a great market.
Yeah.
So for you to do that in a not so great market, in a buyer's market, is pretty impressive.
And that's the cool thing about, again, jumping on somewhat of an established team and having friends that know what they're doing. Because the only reason I was able to close so many so fast is because you guys had been doing it for a while, and like you'd kind of solved a lot of the problems that I then didn't have to solve myself.
Yeah.
It's like
You-
standing
like,
on the
honestly,
shoulders of
100%.
giants. Yeah.
Learning from you two, again, you were in a much hotter market when you first started,
That was awesome.
but you still had to learn how to do a transaction.
Yeah.
Like you made some mistakes along the way, and I got to jump in and learn from your guys' mistakes and then take off running.
Yeah.
And hopefully, like, again, we can continue to do that for the people that come underneath us.
Yeah.
And that's another good reason to, when you first get your license, to join a team.
Yeah,
The splits might not be
sure.
as good, but yeah, I mean, do it for a year and get good at this. You'll have friends, you'll have people to back you up, help you. If there's stuff you don't know, then we're right here to jump right in and help you guys out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
exactly.
And then I had it the best because I had all of you guys help me out,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is really tight. Because I think that's why I felt the success that I've had in this short amount of time, even in this market. is because like I could just text any of these guys like whenever, be like, what does Benzer mean again? You know what I'm saying? What do I do here? And then same thing with like our TCs too.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I mean now we have
Shout out Christina.
Christina's been amazing. You know what I mean?
Katie Chen.
Yeah. It's been awesome. Like sometimes I email them past the time that they're done working. They still email me back too.
No,
You know what I mean?
no joke.
They're charging you.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
you pay for that.
No,
You
no
actually pay
joke.
for
Hey,
it.
I'll
You
take
know.
it.
It's like that
It's
one
worth
time
it.
that waiter asked me if we want a guacamole for the table, and I said yes, and then I got the bill and there was a guacamole on my bill. I thought it was part of the restaurant.
Wasn't like $200.
Yeah, it was like a $56 bowl of guacamole. Do you remember that?
Yeah. I do.
I was eating.
That was at LA.
Don't come up to me and offer guacamole and tell me that it costs $56. You know?
Christina, you're worth more than guacamole.
Hey, but shout out Christina. If it wasn't like for her, like she taught me and Nico so much.
Oh,
yeah.
Christina
So much.
taught me more than anyone. No
Yeah.
offense.
Yeah, not for anybody else, but
for-
she was.
I would call
Spot
Christina
on,
and be like,
hands
"Hey, can we do this? What does this mean? What is this?" And she's like,
Oh, she's
she's
so
like,
great.
"Oh, Nico, all right, this is what we do."
She's the
So-
best. And honestly, for me too, I think why I closed so many too in a short span was because of Alex. Like 100%. Because I got to a point where I had too many listings. I personally was just feeling super overwhelmed. Couldn't like do customer
You're
care
turning
for
and
everybody.
burning.
Oh man, I was ruining a lot of relationships with people because I was holding too many listings, and I saw that happening quick. So we brought on Alex to help me with all my listings
She's been
too.
doing it longer than all of us.
Yeah,
right?
she has way
She's
more
the expert.
experience, and
Seriously.
she was dope. That's why I closed so many this year too. So thank you.
It does. Yeah, help having someone helping you on your listings like that.
Bro.
We're learning.
And even
Yeah, now Alex has to deal with everybody.
when
everybody.
I was there by myself, I was the first one on the team.
Yeah.
The questions I would have to ask, I'd be like, I don't want to ask this fool. I don't want to ask him. Like I don't want to ask him, so I would have to like Google it. I remember like Googling it, or just like finally feeling comfortable to like call Christina and ask for questions, because I felt like I'd ask a question to people on the team, they just laugh,
Yeah.
and I'm like, and then I answer. I'm like,
Yeah.
ha 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 ha. And I walked away. I'm like, motherfucker, you didn't answer my question.
Yo,
Dude.
okay, so this is a pro.
I'm like, bro. So like, I know when you guys join, I'm like, all right, they don't ask everything.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah. And don't
You-
be
Because
scared.
it
There's no
helps.
dumb questions.
100%.
Just ask.
And when you're early in the business, like, don't feel bad about asking anything. One thing I always did though, I'm like the guy. I'm a perfectionist. Like I have to know everything in the room. Like I want to know everything. I want to learn everything, and I feel dumb asking dumb questions. But the way I got around it was I just always started off every question with, I haven't ran into this before. Can you tell me about? And when I don't know, for me, it made me feel better about asking it by saying, I've never ran into this before. I've never experienced this before.
Yeah,
I've never
yeah.
dealt with this situation before. Yeah. I got everything else, but I've never ran into this specific situation before. And I noticed, like, I've said that to Christina probably 80 or 90
Oh, you know
times.
who helped me a lot too? I would always ask him questions. Was
Who?
Matt Dussold.
Matt.
Matt
He was
Dussault.
always like, "Yeah, ask me anything," and I call him and ask.
He's still
Still
he's
helps.
Yeah, he's
on a different
still
team.
dope.
He's not. I mean, he's with not 72
No,
Soul.
he's
He's
not.
with
He's
the
with
coaching
EXP.
program with EXP. But he'll still answer our calls and and is always
I've never felt
happy to help.
bad about asking a question with him.
Yeah.
To him. Like he answered everything. He was super helpful.
He's super smart, but doesn't like come off as condescending at all. Like,
No.
He's super chill.
Not at all.
I like Matt.
Maybe one day we can get him on Elite Brothers.
Right. Yeah. Right.
I wish.
One
Once
way.
we bring on
Well,
more,
we're doing great.
we gotta
Good.
bring out more.
We need a
agents
bigger
and train
office
them.
first. We got a little
I know,
ass
right?
sign. Look at that.
Look at
Get a bigger sign
Put the
first.
camera at that.
Thanks, Jared.
You have one
Thanks
job.
for reading the fine print on that one.
No, I like it, Jared.
I like it. I like it too. I have to go to the bathroom.
It's like the episode of The Office when they unveil the Christmas tree. Just playing, Jared.
No, we definitely got to get a big.
Closing, we're gonna get a bigger sign. So by the end
Right.
of time,
Right.
There you go.
10 signs.
Right. What we need is like Elite on one side to take up a whole wall.
And then brothers on the other side.
Yeah,
Brothers.
That's kind of cool.
Right.
You said brothers.
He called me brother.
Or bros.
Right. The bros we trust. That's what I've been saying a lot too. So I set up our Google reviews, right, through our link tree. Follow us,
Linktree?
Elite Brothers Group. Yeah, on our link tree. And the review says, leave a bro a review.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's funny.
I think it's funny, like about branding, like branding ourselves. Like obviously we're professional Elite Brothers Group, you know what I mean? But I think there's also some value in like kind of like the play on, young guys just out here slanging houses. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I thought it was funny. Yep. Sorry, got to change them out again. They're dead, dude. Sorry.
You think about like I was thinking about.
I'm wondering where I fit in as a bro.
You are.
You
right.
are bro.
You
You
are
are
bro.
bro. Bro
Yeah.
is universal.
Yeah, it is. Brothers,
I guess, okay.
brothers
So
is
you
universal,
look
yeah.
at
You want to call me girl? I'm down. Shoot.
What's up, girl?
What up, girl? Goose calls me girl all the time.
yeah.
Goose is one of our directors at the studio. He's like, girl. I'm like, girl. I say that.
period.
Period. Yeah, I don't care.
Talk about the studio. How's your transition? How do you feel like your transition from dance to real estate's gone?
It's tight, dude. I think that like it's cool because like here at the studio, I obviously like as an owner, it's like I'm
By
at
the way,
top of
our office, this little room, is inside the dance studio. So
Yeah.
the dance studio, we're surrounded by dance rooms.
yeah.
We're still hearing we're still seeing dancers come in and out and hearing music blasting all the
They
time.
like
So
that we're here now
they
again.
love that we're back at the studio. Our
Actually, I
office
have
is
a-
here.
Yeah.
I have a dance studio meeting at 12 today.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
But sorry to interrupt.
no, it's just cool because I feel like I think I said this in the last pod too, that it's making me feel like or it's teaching me things, making me a smarter business person in general.
Mhm.
So then when it comes to running the studio, I feel like I'm more armed with like business knowledge. You know what I mean? And just typically like just generally how to run things or how business should be ran. And then when it comes to stuff like I remember we went through something with our AC units, and Nico contacted the landlord and was like, no, according to the tenant, the
Landlord
tenant, yeah, the landlord tenant act, stuff that you learn
Yeah.
in real estate
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
can bring into the business.
I was like,
Do you know what I
wow.
mean? That just brings more value
Shocked
to
myself.
this place. Exactly, right? It just brings more value to this place, and it has been tough with the balance. Normally, like I get up, I work out, then I do real estate all day. And then for a while, I was also coming to the studio around like 4 or 5, and then doing the studio until like
midnight.
And I was exhausted, and trying to do that every day it's just not a sustainable lifestyle. So I've kind of had to step back from dancing, because I was also dancing.
Your business hours are
Yeah.
usually mornings till
Yeah.
afternoon, and then
Yeah.
dance hours are
Or after all that.
afternoon, evening.
Yeah.
till
How many hours?
late.
So
How many hours should you be focusing on on your business?
I mean, as long as you can. I mean, like I said, I get up, make sure I get my workout done, because then after that,
It's go.
it's go. And then by 5, 6 o'clock, it's like there's no more time for gym or taking care of yourself or whatever. You know what I mean?
Plus, if I take pre-workout at 5 or 6, I'm not sleeping.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think there has to be a balance, but there also has to be calculated sacrifice too. I think that in my opinion, I don't think it's smart to try to do everything. I think what you do is duplicate yourself and
Delegate.
delegate,
Do
and
what you do
duplicate.
best and delegate the rest.
That's I think what I've done. I feel like I've been successful at that so far. I had to take a step back to do real estate because I want to grow my family. I want to be able to pour into my business. There's things that I want to do that obviously needs, that need money. So, we have our trusted employees here. We have about, I think like 20, 25 employees, including our directors who we delegate work to. All of us do. But specifically with me in the adult program, because my wife and I are more overseeing the adult program, we have our team of choreographers, team of directors, and things like that I give work to and just keep up with them, so that I can have the time to be here in the morning and do real estate, contact my clients, get these sales done, get these closings done, and eventually hopefully try to provide more for them, because now I'm freed up to do other stuff. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So duplicate and delegate, I think, is what's been, the saving grace. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
100%.
but that's even, I think, important for, us, as Elite Brothers starts to grow too. Hopefully our success also attracts, more agents, kind of like how Electro attracted the best dancers in AZ. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So Elite Brothers will attract the best agents, hopefully, and then we'll be able to delegate work to them and, hopefully grow this business and provide, people with longevity and good careers. That's why I'm in it for. Yes, love the money, obviously, right? I want the money, but I also want to help people. That's when I wake up every day. That's what I say to myself is like, I want to help people in the way, but you can't help people if you're broke. You just can't. Do you know what I'm saying? And I don't want that to sound bad, but the truth is like to help people, you need to also be able to provide something, but you can't provide something if you're doing everything all the time from 6 a.m. to 12 o'clock at midnight. You have to duplicate and delegate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I don't
my
think,
opinion, anyway.
Yeah. You can't provide if you're broke, because if you're broke, you're not happy.
Right.
I think being broke, you got to be
Poor.
in a good.
I think broke is a mindset.
Yeah.
Poor is more of a financial situation.
Incapable of help. That's what
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
But anyways, yeah, I think that it's important to try and do the best that you can and be able to turn that into something that you could provide to other people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
100%.
So,
Where do you guys find your fulfillment from? Like what pumps you up, energizes you? Because I realized once I figured out what fulfills me, I feel like I just unlocked a different level of life. For me, I'm legitimately fulfilled when I'm growing.
Yep.
And
I was gonna say learning,
but truly, honestly, for me, especially once I took the step into real estate and was in those classes for the first time, I really realized, oh my gosh, I could do anything. For me personally, I don't think everyone's like that. I don't think everyone's wired like that. For me, genuinely, just learning a new skill and for me, growth means being better than I was yesterday. And I know so many of these things are tossed around everywhere in social media, and I'm not trying to just be another person saying it. But for me, honestly, if I'm getting better, if I'm beating myself, I feel so happy, so fulfilled. So I could really be doing that in any way, shape, or form. So fulfillment for me comes from growth and from also helping people. Yeah. But I also realize you can help people doing anything. You could help people by working at Chick-fil-A. You could help people by managing their $1 million business. You could help people by consulting. You could help people by becoming a nurse or a lawyer. You can help people regardless. And so for me, I can help people no matter what I do. And as long as I'm growing, I'm fulfilled. So I don't know if anyone else feels the same way, but
I think it's important to celebrate the small wins. I think that helps, with the big wins too, and feel accomplished. Getting a Benzer across and getting it accepted, or getting the what the buyer deserves, because I do work for my seller, but I'm also trying to help the buyers too, because we're starting to work together. So I think just making sure that we celebrate every win, little things like getting a listing or closing, or
so winning, or accomplishing. That's accomplishing. Kind of what pumps you up.
Mm-hmm. Little things. When your seller or your buyer trust you and ask you for advice, and I'm like, all right, that feels good. I did something right. You know what I mean? So feeling like you did something right kind of pumps me up and keeps me going. And then growing, learning, always important. For sure, definitely.
Alex said problem solving too.
Problem
solving.
solving.
I think that's me. I love.
Yeah.
Me too.
Well, I think that's what comes with this job. I think that's what we are. We're problem solvers. We're solving problems for our clients, for sellers, for the buyers. We're trying to make everybody come together and work together and agree. So we're literally problem solvers. And that's what I told you when you first started, right, George? Said we're not just we're not just selling homes. We're actually solving problems. That's what we do.
Well, I use that in my pitch a lot of times in presentation too. Is I let them know you're not hiring just a realtor, you're hiring me to solve problems. Because I had a client that was like, I'm sorry, I'm calling you for so many questions. I'm like, no, this is literally why you hired me. Yeah. You hired me to solve problems. That is my job. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So ask away,
But, and to make life easier for them, so they don't have to deal with that. We're dealing with it.
Right. Yeah.
What pumps you up, man? What fulfills you? I can tell you, I got 3 things: bottles, women.
pumps me up.
Money, weed. No.
No, don't portray me as that guy. Man. I'm not that guy. No, I'm kidding. Dude, momentum probably. Keep going, building, creating. Like I like building things like as like this Elite Brothers creating momentum of keep going. Like I don't care if I like fail. I don't care if something doesn't go my way. Like it sucks, but like it doesn't faze me. Like I'm very big on like just being consistent and keep going no matter how many punches I'm getting taken. I just keep going, and that fulfills me knowing that I'm not a quitter. That I don't quit.
Is creativity high on anyone's list?
Creativity is huge on mine.
It's important, very important.
Yeah.
I mean, coming from a dance background and being artists, and like, I that's why I love doing going hard on social media and like doing all these dances, because I mean it keeps the creative side of my brain going. Because if I was all business, I'd lose who I've always been, and that's an artist.
Yeah,
artist.
So,
but fulfills me honestly is like just being with my family, like being with my kids, my wife, and hanging out with them makes me really happy. And I know I need to make money to provide and stuff, so that the reason I love real estate and dance and all that stuff is because my main priority is my family, is like making sure they're good. So it's not that I don't love real estate or dancing. I think it's cool. I don't think it makes me who I am. It's just something that I do. You know what I'm saying? I think who I am is like a husband and a father, and that fulfills me. I know it sounds cheesy, but it's like 100% true. I could do anything. I think I could literally achieve anything I want. Like I could have, besides like sports, because I can't play basketball, stuff like that. Obviously, I can't do it.
he sucks.
Too short, and stumpy for that. But when it comes to anything else, I think I could study hard enough to get it done. You know what I'm saying? So I think I could do whatever I want. I think I fell on this, and I like doing it. It's fun, but it doesn't really necessarily like make me who I am. And I always felt 100%. That with dance too. I've been dancing forever and electro and all that stuff, but I always felt like this is just what I do. It's not who I am. Because I think as a father and a husband, before I was even a father or a husband, I knew that's what I wanted. Like I want to be a dad. I want to be a husband. I want to do that stuff. So
since he was a kid. So I thought, it's one day when
it's crazy.
We have kids. I'm like,
so,
dude, get through high school first.
Get through high school first. I say 8th grade first.
Yeah, come on, man.
No, but I love this. I love creating and building. I love creating the brand. I love building the brand. I love the consistency of it. I love working with all of you guys. Like this is so cool and so fun. And that fulfills me too. It's like making money the way that I want to make money. Making money the way that I want to do it. I want to be my own person. I want to do it with the people that I love. I was never meant to have a 9-to-5 job. I was never meant to have a boss. I was never meant to have any of that stuff, because I know for me that I can't do it, because I need to be free, right? And so making the money the way I want to do it, working with people that I want to, like, I don't want to be stuck in a matrix and wake up when I'm like 6 years old and be like, what the fuck? Like, what happened? You know what I'm saying? So I really want to be clear on like how I work, who I work with, what I do, when I do it. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like I have to say one more thing. We probably need to wrap it up too. I'm the same way as far as like my identity is not wrapped up in anything that I do. That's why I feel like I can do anything. But dude, I don't know if there's something wrong with me, but like
there's something wrong with everybody.
There's definitely something wrong with me, because when you're saying like I can't like be a basketball player, literally I think I could be. He's
already bald. Sorry, dude.
How tall are you?
That's why he shaves his head.
Muzzy bones over
here. If you're
here.
listening and not watching this, I'm 5'6", slightly uncoordinated. Yeah, this is how tall I am.
No, you'll never.
Did you stand up?
Could do it.
But, dude, I legitimately, like, I know this is probably some sort of mental illness that I have, but I legitimately think, like, if I applied myself hard enough, I would.
You're gonna be one of those idiots on America's Got Talent. She bangs. Thinks that she could dance. Think they could sing?
Yeah.
If I wanted to, oh no, I
Hey,
wouldn't.
didn't that guy get a record deal though?
He did. He made money.
God.
It's a
Win
banger.
that
He made
show
a
if I
banger.
wanted to. Yeah.
He
Anyways,
did, yeah.
that's my final thought.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Let's all do final thoughts.
Any other final thoughts?
Yeah, well, just going back to what you said about creativity, I don't think you could be a good problem solver without being creative. You know what I mean? And so I know that's something that I'm not the most. It's funny, people would think that I'm really creative. I'm actually not the most creative person, but I
disagree.
thank. I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah,
But like,
yeah, I think you're
I know
creative.
for me, what I'm really good at is pushing, is working hard,
Mhm.
is not quitting. And that's why I love this group, because this group provides me with the vision and I can see the creativity. So where I feel that I'm lacking in my creativity, this group helps me find it, and then I can work towards it. You know what I'm saying? And
Accountability.
exactly. And in that same note too, it helps me become a better problem solver.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So that's what I feel like. I mean, again, thank you for, people maybe will say I am, but sometimes I don't feel as creative. Sometimes I feel like I feel like I'm stuck. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? But
I think that's what pushes you to keep to
Yeah.
be more creative, because
Yeah.
you're striving you're
Yeah.
striving to be creative, so
Yeah.
it forces you to think outside the
Right.
box. And dude, like
Right.
some of the stuff that, like, when it comes to dance and some of the stuff I see you
yeah,
put together, the choreography you come up with, the pieces you do, I'm
That you're
always
still doing.
that you're still
Yeah.
doing.
Thank you.
Dude,
Appreciate it.
I'm so impressed
Thank
with some of
you,
the
I
stuff.
appreciate
Yeah,
Like,
they're
it's
like my
crazy.
favorite pieces.
One of your first pieces I saw, like, that when you started choreographing, I was like, who choreographed this? So, bro, I didn't know you had that in you, because
Yeah.
with us, you were always, you were one of us, but it was usually like myself or Nico coming up with the choreography. And we
Yeah.
did it, you know what I mean? You had ideas in here there, but then when I saw you like go 100% on your own and do your own thing and choreograph your own piece,
Yeah.
I was thoroughly and like impressed.
Right.
Like, holy crap.
Well, again, I mean, thank
Yeah.
you, I appreciate it, right? But and I feel like that's happening again in real estate,
Yeah.
which is really tight.
You're starting
Like,
to find your ground.
and maybe
like,
that's
find
what
your way.
because it's like especially in this market, like being creative with sending your letters out. You know what I mean? With how you're talking to your clients, the process, especially with the 72 process too,
Yeah.
and how it's a patented thing. I look at that and I'm like, dang, that is creative comparatively speaking
Yeah.
to to other traditional real estate. So it's like being in this format again, where I think I'm relearning some stuff
Yeah.
and relearning how to be creative in this industry. I think that's what's helping me the most. You know what I mean?
It's dope.
But
Yeah.
but again, I think I put it more on my hard work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think I'm a hard worker.
That's more valuable to you.
I think I'm almost like in the same boat. I'm excited again. Like I know I said this last time, but I'm excited for this group because, like Nico was saying, we get to do things the way we want to do them, right? I don't have to sit here and make calls for 5 hours because that's the only way I'm going to get business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yes, we will get business that way too as well. But there's other ways to do it, and I get to do it the way I want to do it.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I get to finally use my creative side, and I had to do it for the first year. I had to do it a certain way the first year because that's how I was taught. That's what I learned, and it works. But there's other ways to get business. There's other ways to do things. There's other ways to do this job, and I'm excited that we get to work together to do it. One, we get to do it with our friends. We get to do it the way we want, and like now I get to like do dumb things like on social media and dance again. I get to incorporate what I've been doing for almost my whole life into this industry now, and it works. And I think the people like it so far. We've been getting good feedback, and I'm excited to do more of that. You know what I mean? So I get to use the creative side of
I
my
would
mind
rather
again.
have $100,000 my way than have $300,000 someone else's way.
You're gonna say a million? You're gonna say a million? Because
I would be, if you're suffering and you're essentially a slave to your job, whatever, and you're not doing it your way at $300,000 a year, you have no life.
Yeah.
Like, I would rather have $100,000 my way and be free and vacation whenever I want, hang out with my kids whenever I want. I'd rather have $100,000 that way than have $300,000 and have no life. It doesn't make sense.
Or be empty.
money does solve a lot of things, but it doesn't solve everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
And some people say, "Oh, if you're not happy, make more money," but that's not always. I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case.
That somebody's paying you $300,000, you're smart enough to go make $100,000 on your own.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Or
100%.
600,000 on your own.
Right.
But honestly,
Say it for the
if
people
you
in the
had-
back.
Even if you had $1 million, if you made $1 million and you had no life, what's the point?
Right.
What's the point? Like, what is the point?
Yeah, someone said.
You gotta use that $1 million.
You gotta escape
somewhere,
the
right?
matrix. You gotta like realize like, what the fuck am I doing? What are these people doing? Sometimes I wish I was wired to have a 9-to-5 job. I told Kyle this the other when we were driving. It's like, I wish I could be happy.
Right.
I'm not saying a 9-to-5 isn't a bad thing. I'm
Right.
not saying that. I'm saying
It's just not
I
you.
wish I could be content and happy with that, but I can't. I would go miserable. I would be
It's
miserable.
because your time is more valuable than your money,
It is.
which is more valuable to everybody in the world, but most people just don't realize that.
Yeah.
Because someone said it a way that like clicks with people is like, okay, if I could give you $10 million today, but you don't wake up tomorrow, like, would you take it?
But you can't get out of your bed.
Yeah, it's like,
Right?
well,
No.
no, of course not. Like, why would I do with $10 million if I don't wake up tomorrow? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's okay. So then your time is more valuable than money,
Yes.
right? So
Yeah.
if you make that connection, now live that way. But most people can't like make the connection and then also live that out because it's you
Man.
have to like constantly remind yourself. Money's so tangible and time seems so hard to wrap your mind and arms around that it's just easier to chase money than it is to spend your time doing the things that you want to do.
Yeah. Get caught up in that.
Yeah.
Let's
All right.
finish. Let's finish with
With
this.
that.
Let's finish with this.
Tell people how they can contact us real quick.
What if-
Instagram, Elite Brothers Group on Instagram. On TikTok, Elite Brothers AZ. YouTube, what is the YouTube?
Same thing, Elite Brothers Group.
You can email us. You can go to our website, elitebrothersgroup.com. You can email any of us with just put our first name at Elite Brothers Group. Easy,
.com.
simple.
Yeah.
.com. Yeah.
Easy.
What were you gonna say?
I don't know. I forgot.
You said,
I
let's
said, go
finish
kill
with
it.
this.
Have a great weekend or a great day wherever you're listening. Be consistent.
Happy Friday.
Don't
Friday
quit.
today.
Follow your dreams. Do shit the way that you want to do it, and work with the people that you want to work with. We out here.